He said, my name is Nnamdi Kanu. I am the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra on this very planet Earth, the commander of all her forces.
Good morning, fellow comrades and lovers of freedom. This is Biafra Radio, and we're reaching you out from United Kingdom. And my name is Mazi George Umeh, and today is the 24th day, year of our Lord, September 2024, and is 39 minutes on top of 10 p.m. here in United Kingdom. Presumably the same 39 minutes on top of the hour in the Holy Land of Biafra. And we will be doing justice today. Once again, we have a live coverage from Abuja, where Biafrans are facing the zoo themselves. And hopefully our leader will be appearing once again in the Federal High Court. So the gag orders, or the shenanigan they have been playing around with. But our job here is to connect with Abuja to give us on-spot account. Today, again, Chukwuka Abiyama will take his precedence. As he may have it. And I'm in studio now, as a lot of people are going to be joining me as we go forward. But I will be playing our leaders' past broadcast for now. And as I wait for our people to join us, and today is a very special day again. Mazi Nnamdi is being in DSS dungeon for 3 years and counting. Mandela spent 27 years in prison fighting for a just cause. The same thing our leader is doing. All we can do is to give him a support. And today again is another day that we all should come out and do the needful. I will be corresponding from Lawman, from Abuja, on-spot account, and hopefully some of our comrades are going to be joining me in studio for us to do justice to what is transpiring in Abuja today. One thing is certain, doesn't matter what they do. At the end of this process, Biafra must be restored. That's all I have to say for now. And as I stay put, because a lot is going to be happening, just stay put.
In the same token, the director of Radio Biafra, by the very special grace of heaven, I will now and forever remain a faithful, loyal, obedient servant of the wonderful people of Biafra. I welcome each and every one of you. Go and welcome other people as well. That is your responsibility. If I welcome you, you also welcome other people. Go and tell them that we are live. Tell them that we are direct, and tell them that the zoo is panicking. Tell them that the zoo is panicking and we haven't even done anything yet. We are coming. I said, we are saturating the zoo with the most optimum media coverage. By the time we are done with them, the world will see the zoo called Nigeria for what it is. A very empty, vacuous, corrupt, inept, incompetent, thieving, conniving contraption built by the British for the glorification of Satan. The zoo was created to worship Satan. Anybody who is a Nigerian, Satan is your creator. You people are evil. The most dangerous, the most devilish, the most wicked people you can ever come across. I have the news here to prove it. In front of me is an array of news reported on all quarters, telling you how satanic these people are. Nigerians are satanic. Satan, they should be worshiping. These people are evil.
For those of our people that is in Biafra land, I will indulge you to go and download Biafra Radio, and it's cheaper for you on the tariff. So our leaders broadcast will continue to play. Like I said, I'm in studio here today. Our purpose here is to cover whatever is transpiring in that court to the world, to transmit it wherever you are. As long as you hooked up with internet, those in Biafra land, wherever you are, goes to Play Store. We're not in Apple yet. Go in the Play Store and download Biafra Radio app, and we'll be listening. And that app gives you every past broadcast of our leader, what you need to know, because our people need to go back to school. We need to school ourselves to understand the fundamental reason why we're here. So I'm indulging you, those in Biafra land. We know how things are difficult down there. And those in the zoo at large, download Biafra Radio in Play Store, and we'll be hearing our voice loud and clear. Thank you very much. As we continue with our leaders' broadcast.
Nigeria is evil beyond understanding and comprehension. Evil and satanic. Nobody would have ever encountered such people before. If you want to know how wicked human beings are, go to Nigeria. If you want to understand how devilish, fetish, everything bad and evil about black people is encapsulated in the Zoological Republic. And I'm sure if and when Barrister joins me, he will, of course, concur. He will join us. If you are close to Barrister, tell him that we are waiting. He can join at his leisure. He's a hardworking man, so sometimes we excuse him. The zoo, Nigeria. People ask me often, why do you hate Nigeria so much? And I say to them, if you're a man or woman of goodwill, you will have no choice than to feel the same way that I feel towards that entity. There is nothing evil that you're looking for. Anytime you're looking for something heinous, very bad, very satanic, if you want to understand what it means to be wicked, if you want to understand what it means to be evil, go to Nigeria. Say you are a Nigerian. There is a veil of darkness. The veil, I call it of Satan, that will envelop you. You turn from a human being into an animal, a corrupt entity. Thieving, conniving, lying, conspiring. From the president, from Jonathan to the last person, everybody is a thief, rogues and vagabonds, everybody. Bar none. If you go to Aba and see what Aba looks like, you will understand that the heart of man, the heart of a black man is iniquitous. You will understand it. If you want to gauge the wickedness and the evil of black people from Africa, travel to Aba. You will understand black people from Africa. Indeed, these people are very close to Lucifer. You will understand the level of wickedness you will see these people. The level of apathy, hopelessness, hunger, disease, poverty that will strike you in this land that Chukwu Abiyama gave to our ancestors. You will understand. You will appreciate where we are coming from. You will understand from our own perspective that the only thing that befits the Zoological Republic is complete destruction of Nigeria. Nigeria has to be destroyed completely for man to live. If the zoo remains, many of you will die. If the zoo, Nigeria, remains, many of you will perish. Many of you will die. That is why we say, as always, there is no need for you to vote. If you go out to vote, you will probably die anyway. you will perish. This gospel must be preached. They also ask us, why do you say the things you say? And we tell them, because we are without fear in the presence of our enemies. No fear whatsoever. We have come to do the work of heaven. Chukwu Abịama sent us to come. I cannot and could not have come alone. Chukwu Abịama determined that I should come for one singular purpose: for the dissemination, for the propagation, for the spread of this very gospel that will restore hope, that will restore honor, that will restore dignity to the children of the Most High God himself, Chukwu Abịama. Who are those children? They are Biafrans. They are Biafrans. And that is why we are here. Get your pen and your paper. We, as always, run an interactive session here. Interactive and live here on Radio Biafra. When you get a pen and paper, you will take down the following numbers. They are the numbers with which you can contact us this morning only when our lines open. I am not asking you to start flooding us with calls right now. The lines are working. You may be a liar where you are. You want to say you love lying. So when we give you details, you want to check and see if it is correct. Because you're a liar, you cannot believe. Despite all the disappointments you may have encountered, despite all the politicians you've been forced to live with, the criminals and the thieving vagabonds, here we speak the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help us, Chukwu Abịama. The numbers are +44 208 133 9976 0044 208 133 9976. We are also on +44 78 313 08376 +44 78 31 30 8376. That same number is what we use for our WhatsApp. And I thank all of you from Nkem to the last person. I cannot thank you enough for all the information you've been giving to us, for the company, for the support. May Chukwu Abịama bless each and every one of you. I must also mention that we are on Skype. Our Skype name is Radio Biafra, all one word. Radio Biafra. We are also on Viber and still on the same number, +44 78 313 08376. We were here last night. We are also here this morning, and the time now is 25 minutes past 8 a.m. in the morning, 25 minutes past 9 a.m. in Biafra land. All over the place, people are listening via CHK 97.6 Biafra FM. All over Africa, we are transmitting on satellite. If you have a decoder, if you have a dish outside and a decoder, you should be able to get Radio Biafra. And we are also online at radiobiafra.co. We are at rblworld.tv. rblworld.tv. We also happen to be on ipob.org. We are on indigenouspeopleofbiafra.org and also on tunein.com. Wherever you go to, if you're lost, especially to Google, you'll be able to put in Radio Biafra and they will tell you how to listen to us. We are ready to present to you this very morning our news headlines and accompanying news summary. 12.9 million voter cards yet to be collected according to INEC. Are you listening? They are planning to hold elections, and almost 1/3 of those who are meant to be voting, or should we say 1/4, let us be kind to them, 1/4 of those who are meant to be voting, they have not collected their PVCs. PVC is called, or is an acronym for the permanent voter cards. Ask yourself a question. Why have they not collected their voter cards? I hope that Jonathan is listening. I hope that the president of the baboons of the Senate, you are all listening. Barack Obama is listening. Ban Ki-moon, you are listening. David Cameron, you are listening. Chancellor Merkel, you are listening. Even Putin, you are listening. How is it possible to conduct elections when voter cards that makes people eligible, in other words, 12.9 million voters are not going to vote or have been deliberately disenfranchised? I want people to ponder and think about this very, very clearly. If at all you have brain, Oburisi, in your skull, how can you conduct elections when 12.9 million people are yet to pick up their voter cards? Now, with 12.9 million people,
Mazzi,
or 18 million people, let us round it up,
brings to you
being disenfranchised,
Live
who then is going to bow before Yoruba people? We are your children. You have created us as such, and we will remain your children now and forever. And Biafra is the land you promised our ancestors. It was a place you gave them for their habitation, for their daily praise of your name, which has now been taken away from us by the forces of iniquity, by those of them enveloped by darkness, by men of evil intention and duplicitous disposition. We have come that you may have mercy. We have come to you, Chukwu Abiyama, that this Biafra may come in truth and honesty, because we know that Biafra is in your gift to give and not in the gift of man. Therefore, we pray publicly. Therefore, we affirm your magnificence publicly to the hearing of humanity, that you are God and only worthy to be praised and nothing else, as you commanded us to in Exodus chapter 20, verse 1, that we should not worship any other God apart from you. That is what we do here on Radio Biafra. So that in the end, you will accept our praise, our adoration, our uplifting of your holy name, our magnification of your holiness, that in the end, everything that we offer up to heaven is graciously accepted, and that you, Chukwu Abiyama, will be merciful, that you, as creation, our Father, the beginning and the end, the author and the finisher, may abide with us now and forever, that Biafra may come and will be offered up to you as sacrifice. After all said and done, after we must have concluded everything that we have come here to do, that your name will endure forever, and that through Biafra, humanity will know that indeed you are God. My name is Nnamdi Kanu. I am the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, all over the world, the commander of all her forces, and believe you me, there are many of them. In the same vein, the director of Radio Biafra, by the very special grace of heaven, I will now, tomorrow, and forever remain a dedicated, faithful, obedient, and loyal servant of the wonderful people of Biafra. I will serve you with humility. I will serve you with a sense of understanding. I will serve Biafra with total submission to the will of heaven. What it means, therefore, is that we will not fail you. I will not fail you. We will not lie to you, and I will not lie to you. We will not deceive you. I will not deceive you. We will not prevaricate, and I will not prevaricate. We will not retreat, and I will not retreat. We will not surrender, and I will not surrender. On a very personal note, which I must sound, I remain incorruptible, whiter than white and whiter than snow. That will never change. Biafra or death. One of the two must happen. Either Biafra comes or I am dead. One of the two must happen. Because this life is meaningless. Life without Biafra is meaningless. And it is not one that I am willing to countenance. I will not accept it. Biafra or nothing. I will at this point in time, if the very eminent barrister is listening, please ask him to try and join me if he is disposed. He's a very busy man. He is an attorney at law, has to go to court. But barrister, if you're listening and you are disposed, I humbly request your presence. You can contact me via the universal line, which is +44 208 133 9976. We are live, we are direct, and for heaven's sake, this is Radio Biafra. What do you expect? We speak the truth here. It doesn't matter who gets upset. It doesn't matter who is adversely or positively affected. It doesn't matter how you feel, as long as we speak the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. We must welcome you. The time here now is 20 minutes past 8 a.m. in the morning, 20 minutes past 8 a.m. also in London, 20 minutes past 8 a.m. in other parts of the world that share the same time zone with us. But in other areas, it is 21 minutes now past the top of the hour. That is how you know we are live. That is how you know we are direct. And that is how you know that we are coming to you from Biafra land, because we are in our country, in our nation, in our territory, propagating this very gospel of freedom to the rest of humanity. All we want is our freedom. Nothing more, nothing less. The fact that Chukwu Abiyama gave us coal, bauxite, gold, oil, iron ore is not our fault. Before the white man came, we had all these things in our lands and there was no problem. It is only now that the world is beginning to come to the understanding and realization that what we are doing is essentially correct. The barrister has come to me, accomplished and eminent in his field and profession, but also a very faithful and loyal servant of his nation, his country, and his people. And I will bring to the global audience this very morning the very unique and unmistakable voice of the very eminent barrister and attorney at law, Barrister Mazi. Barrister, I presume that you can hear me, in which case I have to implore you to please continue, if you may.
Good morning, Director.
Good morning, Barrister.
Director, you are the commander. Your instructions always and usually obeyed. Good morning, fellow Biafrans, wherever you are. It's been a long time. I'm sure we are all singing from the same hymn sheet. We always appreciate all of you for the support you give to Radio Biafra, both in finance, both in spirit, and both physically and otherwise. All the support you're giving to Director over there and to the entire people of IPOB worldwide, wherever you are, Chukwa Biama will always guide and bless all of you. Those that believe we must come out of this slavery. Those that believe we cannot remain where we are forever. Chukwa Biama will crown all your efforts in everything you are doing for us, in every way that you're supporting this struggle of IPOB. We thank you and we wish you, especially the Easter is coming, for all of you to remain safe and play safe. For the guarantee we give to all of you is that Biafra must be restored. Nobody should waver, nobody should shake. Do not be afraid of what belongs to you. In the end, you shall see the work of Chukwa Biama. And that is the name to whom we stand on, preach on, pray on, and the name that we will restore Biafra. And that's what I wish this morning. Director, I will stand by. Back to you.
Thank you very much. The very accomplished and very eminent barrister and attorney at law, Mazi, who will be with us this very morning, and as time permits, will come back to us to give us his opinion, his views, his ideas regarding the news that we are about to present. Once again, I welcome you. Once again, I make it known to all of you that we are live and that we are direct and in keeping with our protocol. Very shortly following the conclusion of our news presentation this very morning, I will, of course, open these very lines to take your call. If you don't have a pen and paper ready and handy with you, I recommend and I suggest that you do so as a matter of urgency. I suggest, therefore, that you note the following.
Yes. Fellow comrade and lovers of freedom. Yes, as I'm still here, our leader have just arrived in court. You know, there's a Facebook live from Umeh, his younger brother. But we were having some issues. Our correspondent on the ground is going to be joining us soon. Just keeping you guys updated. Only to have arrived in court, and some of you can watch that on Facebook, but subsequently we might be playing it. But we get this on-spot account by our reporter on the ground, which will be joining me on studio in another couple of 5 minutes. Whenever he's ready, I will bring him in. Lawman, I'll bring Lawman in to give us on-spot accounts. But Onyendu have arrived in court, so the court session I don't think has started yet. I think he's done a short interview within the Facebook live that Mehmet did. The most importantly is that our leader is still there, strong and not vacating. That's what matters. Stay smiling, regardless the condition he found himself. Shows you that you outside here with your family, and all of us want an oath. The question you'll be asking yourself, what have you been doing? What is your own purpose for this struggle? It's very, very important, fundamental question that we have to go into perspective to ask ourselves questions. This particular point in time is a sober reflection. So we need to do this particular exercise to go back onto asking question, why are we here? We don't have arrived in court, so I will keep you guys updated once I get our man on the ground to give us on-spot account, because that's the purpose of us being here. Everything we say here is organically, and tonight, this morning, I'm just allowing some of our leaders, 2015 barrister, I mentioned barrister there, but these things are the beginning of this struggle. Some of us have forgotten how we emerged to where we are today, and those are making a cynical comment, which we will address in due time. Those one time was leaders, and things they have said, we will remind them in appropriate time. But like I said, I'm still waiting for the man on the ground to give us on-spot account. Stay tuned.
A very simple question. Have you ever seen such shambles before in your life? They have had 4 clear years to get this right. This is to tell you that there is a level of corruption a people and a country can pass through, they can never get anything right anymore. Nothing is working. There is no common electricity or internet connectivity for children to write their JAM examination. For good 4 years, they have not been able to devise a method, a means to distribute voter cards. In 4 years, they've not been able to do it. Now they plan to do it in less than 2 weeks. How is that possible, I ask? People should tell us, please. How possible is it? Something you couldn't do in 4 years, you want to do in less than 2 weeks. How are you going to make it possible? That is why these elections cannot hold. The entire INEC structure, the entire people running the Zoological Republic are as incompetent as the zoo itself. That is why people don't know that some of these little things tells you all you need to know about the zoo and the country itself. This tells you all you need to know about the zoo called Nigeria. They, for good 4 years, morning, afternoon, night, every day, every week, for 4 years, they couldn't print and distribute voter cards. For good 4 years. Now they want to do it within 2 weeks. That is why this place, they mourn Britain and all the other agents of darkness. They mourn you prop up this devilish enclave, this zoo that you created called Nigeria. The more disgrace and hardship you are visiting upon people, ordinary people. To some of you, you're just taking oil, you're having fun, you're embezzling, you're thieving all over the place. There are people who are suffering as a result of the existence of Nigeria. People are suffering. And that cannot be allowed to continue. It can't be allowed to continue. Never. Never, ever, ever. 12 points. Do you know? Thank you, Nkem, for that. Do you know that if it is oil, 12.9 million barrels, they would have distributed long time ago, they will scatter it all over the place. They will distribute it. If voter cards, PVCs were oil barrels, they would have distributed immediately. But they have piled up voter card and rig to go and lie, to corrupt, to infect the body politic with their disease. Black people with their disease. We must continue. We need to continue. Africans are still teaching.
Yes, Lawman, you are live on studio. Are you able to talk now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, please. We can hear you. Good morning from here.
Good morning. Okay, so
yeah. Thank you very much. Kindly confirm you can hear us.
Go on, please. Mazi, can you go on if you can hear me? Mazi, can you go on if you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah, good morning once again from here, Biafrans and lovers of freedom. Today had been slated for the continuation of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's trial, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has also appeared in court at exactly 10:26. And everywhere, as usual, is barricaded. And today, as I have just mentioned, today had been slated for continuation of trial, which does include presentation of witnesses, and as well, commencement of the substantive trial, and that is it. Biafrans, I would want us to recall during the last adjourned date, a lot of things happened where the councils, the defense councils, led by barrister lawyer Jimako, had to protest or lead a protest of no fair hearing. Then there would be no trial. You know, that was on the June 19th, 2024. And now, since then up until this moment, this very day, the court has never, heard precedents. Alande had been on vacation. So today, without further ado, today is inscribed for the substantive trial commencement. And so far, so good. We also notarized everybody that there was a cause of political and we have yet also to hear the results or resolutions
If you want to
forthwith.
go back, I think there's some
Therefore,
termination
today,
there.
I would want us to.
If you want to go back, I think there's some termination.
Yeah. So we have yet to hear the resolutions, whether or not the political cause between the federal government of Nigeria and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who is representing IPOB, what was the resolution so far. We would know that in a couple of minutes. But today, I would want to keep us abreast of what is happening in the Federal High Court of Nigeria, where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is standing as the leader of IPOB and also is being charged 5 counts charges at the moment, although these charges were resuscitated, which had been, put into trash. So let's see how it goes, because during the last adjourned date on the June 19th, the presiding justice Bintanyako had asked the prosecutions to file and to enter their witnesses, that this very day would be a continuation if there was no political solution or political meeting. So we are here. I just want to tell us to keep abreast. I would stand by for now, as we would, inundate us with informations and summary of what we would have today in court, the proceedings and its related activity. So, Mazi George Umeh, I thank you for having me as I stand by, and also to making sure Biafrans are tuned in, till this very end. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Mazi, like I said, I saw a couple videos that are posted on Facebook. Likely said our leader cannot be okay being locked up in DSS dungeon. But I know that a lot of people, dignitaries, were there in court as well to show solidarity. And like you said, over time they spent 500 million or whatnot to bring our leader to court. I just want to get this from you because you're there. How is our leader? And what is the preparation of the lead counsel, Aloy Ejimako? I know that they are prepared, regardless what you just told us now, regardless that is going to be a political solution. If that is not in pipeline, then the trial will continue, which we don't know how this trial is going to actually go on when Onyende is still being held in the SS dungeon. So if you want to give us a little bit of background of our leaders' faring, it's very, very important to Biafrans to get a clear picture, if you may. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mazi Umeh. Apparently our leader is here with us and in the courtroom. And
I think we're having some intermittency. The zoo epileptic always kick in. So You have to bear with him. Sometimes he just freezed up, and we can't hear whatever he's saying right now. But like the question I've posed to him is just to him to give us a little bit of a background of our leader's health. We know our leader is sick, but he's there. We can see him smiling. But those that are close to him should know more. So that's what I was trying to get out of him. I think Lawman is having network issues, and as everybody have heard, that our leader has appeared in court, and today 2 things is involved. Is either the political solution they have talked about, which is going to end up in roundtable, regardless whatever have happened, even if we fight for another 1,000 years, it's going to end up on roundtable talk. That is how it's being done, and we continue. There's no conflict that will not end up in roundtable. So all we're asking for, everybody knew that our leader's purpose is for we to balkanize Zoo civilizedly, in the sense that let them give us a day for referendum, despite within Biafrans, those kit and kin that are claiming that they're not Biafrans, for them to decide. If they voted what we did here, United Kingdom, Scotland want to be exited. Now Britain is out of EU. They joined, 35 or 40 years ago. The same thing, the union, they're not comfortable with it anymore. The same thing we're asking for. So it is quite very important that people, the world, understand our plight. Our plight is very simple. We are not here to pick up arm, small arm. We've done this before. Out of duress, our internal leader went to war with the zoo because our people were in annihilation. And it wasn't by he didn't just make that decision. It was a consensus within the old Eastern region that gave him the power to declare Biafra. And they fought head-on for 3 years before the whole world ganged up against Biafra. Even the Russia and the Britain that has Cold War have to come together to fight against Biafra because they were supplying the zoo ammunition to kill our people. Our people was massacred from all over the zoo. Today, the truth are coming out on everywhere. People are speaking out because now they understand that across board, we are the sacrificial ram, but our people don't understand the position we are in because we offended Chukwukabiam. What we are saying here tonight, this morning, is that our leader Mazi Nnamdi has paid the ultimate price. And those that speak ill about our leader, those that was with Onyendu, that must be a betrayer. Brutus of our life, those that cause people Brutus today, they are the one in that position. He must have one. Every 10, there must be a Judas there. And that will not deter Mazi Nnamdi, neither us. We have a clear vision of what we want and what we want to. This is not about me or you. It doesn't matter who you are. When you said it, I was listening to his book. I said, it doesn't matter even what IPOB do, that Biafra must be restored. Cannot, because it's a program of, it's a project of Chukwukabiam. So tonight we are reaffirmed again because our leader is our strength. I don't have anything to talk about if Mazi Nnamdi is not in DSS dungeon. There's no drive that will drive me to talk about Biafra is not Mazi Nnamdi. The torch and the vision was given to him, and everybody must queue behind him. So, like I'm saying, Lawman is having an issue, even he's out of studio, and we will continue and waiting to see what is going to transpire today. Our job here is to make sure that the whole world understand the objective of what Biafra stands for. The vision of Mazi Nnamdi. We had this 2015-16 people talking about they have a roadmap. They have no vision. Because I'll tell you one thing is that if Mazi Nnamdi wanted to get Biafra violently without being coordinated, probably today our land would have been in the flames a long time ago. But there was a clear vision on where we're going, on how we are going to drive home. Every single one of you that started this struggle, that fell on the wayside, and today you become the embodiment of, anybody that made himself an embodiment, then that person will be seen as an enemy. Mazi Nnamdi is there in DSS dungeon. All of you are comfortable in your own homes with your kids. 3 years plus, he's still there. He's not complaining. Neither has he asked you that he wants to come out of there, because if he wants to come out today, he could have said in court, I'm tired. The whole case will go away. And that's what they want him to do, to break him down. But he said that he will not do that. I will not fail you. You're going to be the one to fail me. And look around you today. all those we call comrade, where are we? Where are we today? That's the fundamental question. So we're still here. Probably I'm gonna have 1 or 2 men to join me on the studio. When they come on, I will bring them up in the screen. Then we will talk about things happening in Abuja. And but I will continue with Onyendu's past broadcast in 2015. So we must be listening to him because it's very, very important that we energize ourselves with self reflection on where we are going and what we are about is important, because we are not just here, to bickering on each other's and lost vision. People now forgotten why we are IPOB and what we did. They made you now they respond to people when it's appropriate. When you go overboard, then we will respond to you in a very decent manner on a different platform, not here. Remember that. And this is Biafra Radio, and we're still waiting to what is going to be the order of the day today in that Zoological Republic. I'll continue with Onyendu's past broadcast.
Their children, colonialist numbers down, please. 081-738-13596. I repeat, 081-738-13596. We are also on our inquiry line, which is 090-907-76589. 090-907-76589. That is our inquiry line. Very, very important. You understand that, please. We are also on Skype. We are on Viber. We are on WhatsApp. And the number for our WhatsApp remains +44 78 313 08376. I repeat, I can't say 00944. It is +44, rather +44, which is the code for the United Kingdom. 78 313 08376. We are also on our universal line +44 208 133 9976. When our lines open, you should be able to contact us. If you have any support to offer, people say, oh, when are we marching? When are we marching? How much support have you given? We want to march, yes, but we need to be prepared. And for us to be prepared, we need the assistance of everybody. Anything you can do, if you're a scientist, if you're a doctor, if you're a nurse, we need as many volunteers in different professions as possible. But of course, because you are serving under one banner, you will be commissioned officers or non-commissioned officers of the Army of Biafra. Very, very important. It doesn't matter your profession. Even if you're a teacher, we welcome it because we need to teach. We need to take care of. We need to feed. We also need to counsel our soldiers anytime their services are required, or anytime it becomes apparent that some bit of counseling is needed in order to keep them in a top shape, both mentally, physically, and otherwise. Very, very important. Instructors, everything, we need them in the Army of Biafra, because we need to prepare, not like 1967 when we were ill prepared. We want to prepare. If you want to buy us guns or bullets, we welcome it. Anything you can give in that very regard, we welcome it. But every other person, no matter how small or how big it is, we welcome every support and help in order to help us defend our land against Islam. Because they are coming the same way they have now gone into Damascus. The same way that America has so weakened the government of Assad that now the killers, the murderers, the pillagers, the looters are now at the gates of Damascus. That same way, we will not allow them to come to the gate of Umbudi before we react. We want to prevent them from coming in. If we remember, anything we tell you here is gospel. Anything we tell you here is gospel. If you do not, I repeat, if you do not support this very effort now, when the enemies come at the gates and they are knocking, if you call me, I will tell you I don't know who you are. You're asking us to march. We need your support. We need your help to be able to march. Everybody must contribute their quota, no matter how small, no matter how big. Some of you think that we do already, that all over the world people are, no, it doesn't work that way. We need our zonal coordinators, our national coordinators to be on top of their game, to understand that we are in Biafra land and we are incurring huge expenses to be able to make things work. We have scientists. We must house them. We must prepare them to give us the armaments and ammunition we need. Here in this place, when I'm not going to rely on America or Britain to give us weapons, we will drown. We make our own. Our hands and legs are not broken. Why can't you make the same thing a white man is making? Do you think their weapon system fell from heaven? No, they made it. Because they're human beings and they make use of their thinking faculty. Because we are Biafrans, we are going to do the same. And it needs funding. It needs funding, I said. To finish our research laboratories and to make sure that our scientists go to work immediately. We need the help of everybody. We are not against any human being or people or country. We just want to be free. The way we were before the white man came, there's nothing wrong with that. We are not doing what we are doing because we hate Islam. People can have their religion, is their business. What we resent is the encroachment, the forcible encroachment of Islam into our territory. We don't want it. No, we don't, I said. We do not want Islam to forcibly come to this very land. We want to be free. There was no Nigeria before. There was nothing called Nigeria until the drunken harlot came here and named the monkeys and the baboons Nigerians. I am not a baboon, I'm not a monkey because I am a Biafran. I reason infinitely better than a monkey or a baboon. You are a monkey and a baboon if you are a Nigerian. That is who you are. We are live and we are direct, and humanity is listening. I will therefore go to our news headlines this very morning, the morning of the 2nd day of April 2015, with the time standing now at 29 minutes to 9 a.m. in the morning to present this very program. The author and abolitionist Oluwado Ekuano.
Lawman, I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, once again, thank you for reconnecting with us. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah, I know previously I asked you a question. I know that the epileptic network of the zoo took you out. So
yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, so in reference to the very points I did make, the points I did make earlier before this time, so we are waiting for, the witnesses, courtesy of the prosecution to, to show forth. But there is nothing for now because I learned that there is nothing for now. We are streaming just by the hallway of the courtroom because they wouldn't allow us to stream from inside the courtroom. So I learned that there are no witnesses for now. So that's to show you what these people are made of. But let's see how it goes. As I said before, the court in the person of Presiding Justice Binta Nyako, who manages this very trial of the federal government of Nigeria versus Nnamdi Kanu, has said it will continue trial. First of all, it had directed the prosecution to file proof of evidence, to file also in this very case. So far, we have not seen anybody. We have not seen Mr. A, Mr. B, or Mr. C. So as I said, just hang in there, dear friends. We shall keep you abreast in due course to see what the day would look like. So is there any questions from?
No, initially, you said this before, but my question to you was about our leaders, you know, health conditions, which we already know. But like, I'll pose that question to you basically because you guys are more closer to him. Even though we had his voice this morning, he's smiling. So, just want to get a clear picture from you that is on the ground there, and as well like the preparations of our lead councils and their spirit, how they are, because you had man on the ground. That's what I was getting at when I asked you that question before the network kicked you out. So, but if there's nothing for us, then we'll wait as you just said. But if there's any more clarity or what I've just opposed to you, then you can make that known to Biafrans. Thank you. Did
Yeah,
you get
for
what I
now,
mean?
all is well.
Yeah.
And yes, I did. Yes, I did. For now, all is well from our end. And also, we await what will become of the proceedings. So, as I said before this time, we have yet to see the said witnesses. You know, so let's just keep our fingers crossed and know what will become of this very day and subsequent days forthwith. Thank you.
Thank you, Mazi. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. That's the voice of our correspondent on my man on the ground and on spot account, Mazi Lawman, and everybody have heard him. So, like he said, there's no witnesses as they claim that they want to proceed with their trial, which we are not actually accepting because the Wali Council said there will be no trial as they have not given Mazi Nnamdi Kanu the liberty for him to prepare for his trial. You cannot try someone that is being confined. It doesn't work that way. So, and he has to have his liberty in the sense that he has no place to sit down with his his um his lead counsel for them to prepare for his trial. So, as he just said, that there's nothing going on in there, and there's no witnesses as he may. We will wait because we will not get weary. So all we do is to follow the due process because they don't follow the due process. If they follow the due process, our leader will not be in the SS dungeon because their court have acquitted him that no court in the land should try Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Everybody knows that. But we know it's shamble. So it's delay tactics to break him down, what they did to Mandela, but it's not going to happen. It's just a matter of time. Matter of time. Anybody that raises a child stuff up with time, your hand will be weary and it will drop it down. The child will pick up that thing that is holding. So it is our inalienable right that would demand that we have to decide our destiny by ourselves, not by anybody remotely, like Britain has now used Nigeria as their enterprise for years. The colonial master days should be over. That is why we are here. We're in the system. We have kids here. We're not running away. We're just being nice and gentle because at the end of the day, it is not going to go away. Isn't going. We're not going anywhere near soon. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's son is here now, so they think the holding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is going to end up there. Nemeka is here with his brother. So don't think that this war is going to end now, but it might do you good for you to do it in a civilized manner. Very, very important. As we continue to listen to our leader and waiting, Biafrans, I will indulge you to queue. And again, the only thing that is important that matters is our leader. That is our focus because he is the golden egg. Without Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, anybody talking about Biafra today, your first thing you mention is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. No matter what you do, you can't. That is mean that there's no template. You don't have any template. The only template you have is to mention Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So, with all due respect, and I allow anything anybody's doing anywhere now about Biafra, continue doing what you do, depending on your notion you're doing it with. But one thing we must respect is our leader's voice. Very, very important. So our leader are there now as we go back to listen to our leader's voice, and I will continue to give you guys the updates.
This day in 1797, when Yoruba say they are the most traveled and educated, I laugh at them. They said we had the Bishop Ajayi Crowder, we have this, we have that. But the person that made it possible for Ajayi Crowder to be freed as a slave, the person who set up this global movement you have, you see, Labor Day, you're doing, Labor Congress, Nigerian Labor Congress, this is the man that started it. And he's a Biafran. His name is Oluwado Ekwuano, an Igbo man. This man read and studied ever before any other black person decided to pick up a pen and paper. There's somebody calling us from France, please. It is too early. The caller from France, it is very, very early, please. Our lines are not open yet. When it does open, you will be able to call us, please. I must tell you, try to refrain from calling. When our lines open, you will be able to call us. It's calling us on a universal number, please. Try and call us later. This man went to school and became a lawyer by the time that Yorubas, we are still trying to master how to prepare amala. So when they come to you, and I told you that Radio Biafra is their problem because we uncover the truth. This man is a living example that an Igbo man is the first well-read, learned black person from Africa. A Biafran. What touched me was that he also mentioned Benin. And here you will hear what he has to say. This is for people. I told you, when you listen to Radio Biafra, you learn. All the nonsense they give you in your hopeless, wretched universities is crap, rubbish. All of you from, all the Biafrans from Izon, Ishekiri, Urobo, Isoko, all the way to all the people that have the Obi across what we now know as Anioma or Delta territory of Igbo land. There was Benin influence, no doubt, but we are not from Benin. Even this man, as far back as 1750, 1760, wrote about it. He acknowledged the colorful monarchy of Benin Kingdom, but said we are not part of them. This man, if you go to United Kingdom, if you go to London, you know they respect intelligent people. It's not like in this UG. If you're intelligent, they say, black people kill intelligent people. In white man's country, if you are intelligent, they will revere you. They respect you and they honor you. If you go there and ask for Oluwado Ekwuano, they will tell you the foremost. They regard him as the most intelligent black person they've ever come across. And who is this man? He's a Biafran. Go and read his book. Go and read his works so you understand. Ishekiri, Urobo, Isoko, Izon, everybody is a Biafran. There was significant Benin influence, yes, but we are not from there. As far back as 1700s, they were saying it. When people listen to Yoruba media, read their useless newspaper, you become brainwashed into thinking like a vagabond. You don't reason properly. We are not arrogant. No, how can we be? We tell you the truth. If you think by listening to Yoruba media and reading Nigerian newspapers, you become intelligent, you are a fool, a complete idiot. Because even the ones writing are not intelligent enough. Here you get the facts and the figures. Anything I tell you, I back it up with a historical event and I point you to a specific time in history. I don't say things. When I say that we are the first people to become learned from Africa, I have the proof. Not Bishop Ajayi Crowder. No, not at all, Yoruba. We have the master of them all. This is the man that stood in front of white people and argued against slavery, and slavery was abolished 10 years after his death. He was the one that rose up and said no to slavery. Because in his land, they never knew slavery. He was telling the white man, where I come from, I never knew slavery. I don't know what slavery is. Because there, Every man is equal before God in heaven and the laws of man on this very earth. That we are blessed as a people, that this man was kidnapped and enslaved and sent to England at a very tender age, that he rose to prominence is as a result of divine providence. That Chukwu Abiyama may speak to humanity through the voice of our people, because Biafra is light. We represent the light, and he is here. Whom we remember today because on this day, he died in 1797. It was not a Yoruba man. And without Radio Biafra, would we have gotten this information? The answer is no. The earliest black person to have ever studied and graduated is a Biafran. A Biafran. And from Anioma, for your information. This is Radio Biafra. We continue. I will tell you what, when you go and read his book, not one, not two, go and type in his name on Google, begin to read about this, begin to read everything he wrote. You begin to understand that Chukwu Abiyama made some people, I don't know, intellectual heavyweights. Everything you need to know about who you are, he talked about it. The food we eat, everything, he talked about it. But said in the end that all men are created equal. They remember him in the UK, you know. In England, they celebrate him. Every Black History Month, everywhere if you go to Tottenham, if you go, everywhere you have centers of black people, you see his picture there. And he's a Biafran. Not a Yoruba man. Ndiushi. We are here now. Hey, how they'll be crying. My goodness. How do we close that radio station down? How do we create fake ones? How do we get people to become confused? How do we get Owasirike to try and do something to disrupt them, to find their station and destroy? You cannot. We can see you, but you can't see us. We see you, but you can't see us. If you like, look from now to the kingdom come. You will never find.
When my lawyer came to see me, I had a discussion with them.
You will never understand the technology we are using.
I told them that no court in Nigeria has jurisdiction to try me. Because since this offense was committed in England, you understand? It's only a UK court that can give a Nigerian court the authority to proceed, isn't it?
Yeah. Based on that, they removed London.
Based on that, they now amended the charge again and removed London.
Location of the branch.
Location of the contrary to section 196,
174 of the Terrorism Prevention Act 2020.
in violation of their own laws. In violation of their own laws. And you want me to stand trial under such circumstances? Is that possible? Nnamdi Kanu to stand trial where these shenanigans are going on? It's not possible.
Yes, the persecution against the Igbo.
No, let them be them aggressor, not the ones.
No, we have many of that.
Mr. Last question, not the one last question.
And I have respect and love for her. She knows.
What if this case comes back to her?
It is not possible. It's not possible. This persecution of the Igbo people, this orchestrated, almost global persecution of the people, stop with me. It cannot happen.
Very well.
It can never happen. That is why we do what we do. That is why I do what I do. I am campaigning for the freedom of my people because of the persecution that we're facing.
Yes.
It's as simple as that. Nothing more, nothing less.
Yes. Yes. The rules change.
The place where I committed this crime was
now, not tomorrow, not ever. And believe you me, they were built by Biafrans. You'll be shocked. We need our Science Research Institute. Those of you to fund it. I have the engineers. I have them, including the one that's called last night. He's safe. We have them. Oh, Chukwu Abiyama be praised. I'm telling you the truth. You watch and see what will happen. Before we said no to
We're getting a development from Abuja right now, but before our men on the ground will join me, I have Prince Canon Takano with me here in the studio. Mazi Canon Takano, good morning from here, London, from Biafra Radio. You are welcome. As we are getting this news, we're still waiting for our man on the ground to come and give us real on-spot account. But Canon Takano, I will give you the stage to introduce yourself and to us to try to go through what is happening right now in Abuja. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mazi. My name is Canon Takano. I'm a member of IPOB in Germany, and I'm the brother of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi.
You are welcome this morning. Mazi,
thank you very much.
There is some news we are getting from Abuja and which we are going to confirm, but I know you're privy to everything. So Onyendu have spoken, couple interviews, short video clips that I've seen myself. And I think he's having a wide press release. There's so many cameras in his face, what I just saw. Never saw a camera like that before in my life. And it's tremendous that our leader have access to media right now, Maz. I need you to go into details this morning. It's important. We talk about what is happening in Abuja and we need to talk about it. It's very important. Let me just allow you to, to elaborate, please.
Thank you very much. From the update there, from the update we are getting that Justice Binta Nyako has recused herself from the case, whichever way, because this is unacceptable, in our own imagination, that most people who are behind all this nonsense, who are paying so much money to the judges, to turn the judgment upside down, are those benefiting from everything that is happening in Southeast today. Everybody's talking about insecurity going on, but there are people who are behind insecurities going on. Not even common people that are being mentioned on daily basis. Rather, there are top politicians who are benefiting from all this nonsense, as the case may be. And today, the woman they are sponsoring, she's out of the way, because from the onset, everything the Supreme Court said, she never implemented. And you have people like Awomole, who claims to be a senior advocate, prosecuting Mazi Nnamdi on this very case, watching all these shambles going on. These are people who are supposed to defend the law in Nigeria, but they watch this woman manipulate all this nonsense. If you remember, in the first, they keep amending charges on daily basis.
Yeah.
You remember that all they presented about the terrorism, treasonable felony, all these things were committed in London.
Yes.
If you have the first charges. But today they went to remove all of them. They amended it without including London anymore, just to see a way if they can start a trial. That tells you all you need to know. And this is Nigeria for sure.
Yeah.
And there's no country that can survive in this way. No country can survive in this very form. So those of them who are sponsoring this security in the whole of Nigeria are the ones behind all these things. And do not forget that Binta Nyako, the husband, is facing charges with her own son.
Yeah.
Of course, in Nigeria for looting Adamawa.
Yeah.
State treasury. And then what are they doing? They are trying to use her to see if she can jail Mazi Nnamdi to salvage her husband and the son. That is absolute madness. And this is how Nigeria functions. This is how Nigeria functions. They will reach out to people. So Nigeria doesn't have a case where Mazi Nnamdi can eat, but they're just playing a game to see if they can jail him through this woman. Everything the Supreme Court said she never implemented, and the question is, whom is she working for? So does it mean that in this case, the judiciary are now in bed with the executive? They can't do anything except the executive tells them what to do. And it's not supposed to be like that.
No, that's scary.
It's not supposed to be like that.
With the three arms of government have to be separated, and that's how it should be. You know, the judiciary should be independent by themselves to making decisions. That is why Americans say DOJ. So Mazi, as she have evacuated herself, what is the next step for us? Which we know that our lead counsel will let Biafrans know, you know, because we are not going to be summarizing things we are not privy to. But that's something that is very, very important. Like I said, the short video I saw on Facebook, literally, I think all Nigerian media camera is in our leader's face. And our leader stood, you know, I don't know if he's standing on something, but like all of them was, you know, beneath him when he was addressing the media. It's a short clip from Umeh. And it is quite impressive for me personally to acknowledge that our leader has a total access to media to preview to what we were seeing for the past 2.5 years before now. Because it's important. Because a lot of things that are happening in Biafra land today, like you said, so many people are involved. And I can see there's max exodus going on within the people, that people have to pay for what they have crime they have committed against our people. There's a bloodbath in Biafra land. And people are benefiting from it. And that the whole politicians that are involved and individuals as well. But my question to you is that, why is he now? Onyendu wasn't being brought into court, because sometimes as we are moving from Bintanyako, let's address this here today. Onyendu was not brought to court. Everybody knows that. Most of his court case is behind closed doors. They go and get enjoyment, and Onyendu wouldn't say anything to the public. Remember before now, Onyendu was talking only was 30 seconds that he said, I want Biafra land to be peaceful. I will never forget it. So as we are waiting for Lawman is struggling with his network, can you just elaborate a little bit more on this, Mazi, if you can?
They know that for sure about Onyendu not appearing before the press in the previous cases. They were being handled with this other criminal elements. That's what I call them. Because they were in bed as well with the executives. Because if they hadn't compromised the case of Onyendu, by now everything would have been history. And for that very reason, they blocked everything. They never gave Onyendu access. Rather, after all these things, they would tell them, go with him, we will address people. And this is how it has been. And there's nothing anybody can do about it. You know, there's nothing anybody can do about it. So this is exactly how it has been, you know, as the case may be. So this is something we need to understand as people, and to know indeed that we are doing what we're supposed to do as a people, to make sure, you know, that we get the message across. And that is what Ejimako and his legal team are doing today. That is what they are doing, that Onyendu is the leader. He is in charge. And he should be given access to address the whole world, because he will be the one to tell the world exactly what is happening, and not the other way around. But these other criminals blocked everything because of their selfish interest, because of what they were getting from the government of Nigeria. That is why. And I'm glad they are no more today.
Okay, continue, Maz. Sorry, I was just trying to communicate with our man on the ground. So there's a couple interviews that are going to come on live. I'm happy that we don't want to go deep on this, but just to people to be aware of what has happened, because now we know when our lead counsel addressed Biafrans, and which way are we going from here, since Bintayako have now made herself, you know, honor herself, because she should have done this for a long time. Well, she was playing a sudden death with our leaders and IPOB and Biafran's future, because of he wants to trade by baton with the family. But like I said, we we Biafrans and what you've just told us concerning, we don't want to mention individual's name, but Onyendu, if you ask me my personal opinion, what triggered what is happening in Biafra land today is because when Onyendu was rendition, our leader appears in court. Our leader was not having access to speak to Biafrans, which is addressing Biafrans that when they hear our leader's voice, Onyendu's voice was systematically silenced. And that was gave birth to what is happening in Biafra land today, because we cannot shy away from this fact. Just like what you have just said. We didn't know that they were making 500 million every single day they brought Onyendu to court. It was when this new lead council emerged, we knew how much they were getting from the government. That is their money they are getting every single time Onyendu come to court, but they won't bring Onyendu to court. That money is being shared among themselves. And now, if Onyendu could have been speaking like he spoke for the past 6, 7, 8 months, I don't think that what is happening in Biafra land today, we could be seeing such menace going on. But because Onyendu there was a total blockade, media blockade towards our leader, and all this whole thing emanated. So Mazi, like I said, it is very disheartening that we found ourselves in this position. But overall, what we want to let Biafrans know is that our leader is not going anywhere. Onyendu is not going anywhere. He's not evaporating, because at the end of the day, he told us he would not disappoint us. And at this juncture we are in now, our leader has proven everybody, even Binta Nyako herself, can actually pull away from this case, tells you all you need to know. The whole world now understood. On 2015, when Onyendu was kidnapped. After that, and this whole case from Tozo, there's so many judges that have involved before now. Buhari assigning to this woman, to make sure that she jail Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in return of them not to jail her husband and son. But today, what is happening? Like today again, she is the one that have used her own hands to now surrender and telling the world that I have been the wrong side all this while. Mazi, I mean, I don't know what to say, because remember, our leader is a human being, and some people, all of us, we talk here and go to sleep. Nobody knows what the direct, immediate family of our leader are going through, and all the trauma, because our people don't understand what mental health is all about. Onyendu have gone through, but I know, he said, he got the mental toughness from day one. So for me personally, it's very clear that Biafrans understand the position and the plight and what has happened, because we'll talk about this, but I'm not going to talk about it extensively from here, or I'm just picking up a point. So Mazi, I'm going to let you, add more stuff on what you have just said. There's any more thing you want to tell Biafrans, because we cannot elaborate on what is going to happen until our lead counsel now give us the point of direction, or when the interviews comes on from there, we'll take off our closing remarks, because there is some interviews we are waiting on the background for them to come on, right?
As long as one thing is certain, like you rightly said, there are things we cannot run away from. He said that nobody knows what we are going through yet. There is a stress, but we are born for this very purpose. We know that a day like this will come, and we have to remain strong. I don't want to be pitied by anybody, because what we are doing is what we are supposed to do. Somebody must bear their cross. If you must to be safe, if you must be free, there is somebody that must lead.
Yeah.
There must be somebody who must take the first position. There must be somebody who must take the first shot, and that is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is doing today.
Yeah.
All we need to do is to do what he asked us to do.
Simple
I'm not
as
defeating him,
ABC.
because we are talking about saving the whole generation.
Yes.
It's not about individuals, but woe betide those of them who think it's an opportunity for them to reach themselves. Popularity, you can always have it in two forms, either through a positive way or a negative way. But whichever way anybody chooses, that is their own choice. But what I'm saying, I will still say to you tomorrow, Nobody should gamble with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's name. It doesn't matter what you have. Because the more you try it, I guarantee you, Amara Hakubogi, you die. The person will die. The battle we have is to liberate our people. I could see a lot of people crying, oh, they did this, they blocked our application, they did this, they did that, I laughed. This now is done on them. But this is something we've known for a very long time.
Yes. Yeah, they were laughing. They were laughing to themselves.
We were a United Nation in 2017. When we were talking about the issue of Biafra, we told them that they're supposed to have the record. The man said that they don't have the record because they destroyed the records about Biafran war. A United Nation. Now we are trying to go back to do all these things. That is how it is, you know. But the battle continues. We are not going to stop.
Yeah, Maz, 1 minute. Maz Lawman, can you hear us? Are you ready for? If you can hear me, please confirm. Thank you.
No.
Can you? I think he's having network issue. You know,
he's on mute. He is on mute. He needs to mute himself. Yes.
So today, the 24th of September, the court has just dismissed.
Network is very bad.
Just to show up, and the witnesses to show up, but we saw nothing. We did not see any witness.
Quite.
I think he's having a network problem. When it's stable, we'll come back. But the story there is that
there is not. Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, the network is keep on breaking down, bro. Lawman, your network is very, very bad. I don't know. It's very, very bad. Mazi, carry on, Mazi.
Like what we are saying, the simple truth there is that the only to asked Binta Nyako to recuse herself from the case, citing bias because she's biased. She wants to go into trial to call witnesses to come and witness what when Onyendu was taken back from the back door, was brought back to the Nigeria, which the Supreme Court condemned and told the idiot what to do, and she refused to do it. You know, and from what it is, from all indication, it is very simple. Like they said that for her to quit, I know that people will be panicking and say, what will be the next way? I know that the lawyers are going to speak, but for me, it's a very simple thing. When the most cases were appealed, so it will still go to appeal court for appeal court to determine that very case. But if there are any new charges coming or any new cases coming up on what she has presided over before, that one is dead. That means that the file is going to be assigned, will be sent back to CJN, and is going to be reassigned to somebody else. That is how it is. That is the simple truth. That is the fact of it. But she cannot, because somebody, I have seen her judgment written. Somebody, can you imagine a case of this magnitude? When you will go to court and come out from the court, there will only be 1 page or 2 pages of judgment written by this same idiot, this Fulani bigot that claims to be a judge. Only 2 pages without detailing exactly what was discussed in the court. Somebody is telling her, don't write anything, take this and give us a judgment. That is what they are doing.
You know one thing that, let me say one thing. One of them have frustration, right? And it comes back to those that were handling Onyendu's case. right? Because if you remember, there was never argument publicly Biafra seen before, like since when Ejimako picked up this case. She have never had any kind of, pure objections that people can say, okay, now we have a debate. So it has been scripted by the whoever that was managing that case. Whatever she said goes. She was not being checkmated. So now she found out she cannot have that kind of momentums anymore. And she knew that there's no way. Buhari is dead, and now Tinubu is now there, and Tinubu, things are not going well with them. So there's a lot of things going on in the background we don't know. Because Onyendu for the Fox, you don't have no court will try Mazi Nnamdi on the ground the way they brought him back was they committed crime against Mazi Nnamdi and humanity itself. We all know that. Extraordinary rendition is no ground to try Mazi Nnamdi. Ejimako said this from day one, and that is where all of us are going to go back. It is very, very important that people understand this. But the game they have played, the people have enriched themselves. More that blood has been shed. But this is the cost we're going to get. We have to go through this because there's a program I was listening when you said, if you vote in Nigeria, you're going to die. He said it. Everything Mazi Nnamdi have said, every word of Mazi Nnamdi never gone out of being come to pass. So, let's see if Lawman can be able to say anything because he have some people on the ground that will have to hear from them, those that are there, their own perspective. Lawman, if you can hear me, can you try one more time again if your voice is coming out clear, please? It's gone off again. It's very, very bad.
It's just like what people were saying about vote.
Yeah.
I saw what is happening in those states. Everybody's jumping up and down. One thing is certain: they should understand it is not the situation we are in is very, very precarious. Those who vote decide nothing. That is one thing we have to understand. Those that vote in that country decide nothing. Those who count the votes decide everything. That is one thing they have to understand. But those of them that count the vote decides everything you need to know about election and not what people are saying.
Of course, it's the INEC. It's INEC that they won't decide who wins. They appoint people. Then it's not election. Election is waste of time. We all know that's mixed. Yeah. So, Lawman, are you there? Lawman, can you hear us? Zoom, man. It's keep on going off and coming in. Let me just call him. I can't call him on phone. Mazi, carry on. Let me call him and maybe use your mobile phone. Just carry on elaborating, Mazi.
So from everything that is going on in Nigeria is very, very clear. So they keep playing the same game, and those that defended Onyendu from the onset, those that came in through the back door, failed us left, right, and center. Failed us through all angles because what they were supposed to do, they refused to do it. Rather, they will go there to be saying, yes, my lord, whatever you said we'll do. As long as that they are getting their own money, getting share of their own 1 billion naira that is being mapped out for every trial of Mazi Nnamdi during the time Bichi was there as DG, DSS. That is exactly how it is. And we cannot run away from that. We cannot run away from that. That is a fact. And they know today that they are genesis of this problem we're facing. Because they failed us. They failed to defend Mazi Nnamdi the way it's supposed to be. But it's a bygone. One day they will answer for what they did, but it's not going to be now. But one day for sure, they will.
Okay, Lawman, go on, please.
Okay, thank you very much. A lot of things ranging from the dissatisfaction from Mazi Nnamdi, and as I did report before this time, there was no witness as stated before now, and there was no, the said political solution did not see the light of the day. So we are here to have a cross-section of Biafrans and also one of our representatives in the legal perspective, Barrister Nemeke Jofo, whom you would hear his voice now. So telling us what really transpired in court. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Make the microphone should be make sure
Well,
the microphone
thank you very
is,
much,
yeah.
lovers of freedom. My name is Nemeke Jofo. I'm one of the lawyers to Mazi Kanu. His matter came up today at the Federal High Court, number 3 in Abuja. And we made efforts to make the court to understand that we have filed several appeals about some of the rulings of the court. One of those appeals borders on the jurisdiction of the court to go into hearing because we believe that our client, Mazi Kanu, has not been given that opportunity of getting himself ready for a defense. And our reason principally is because of the environment where he is detained. We strongly believe that the DSS facility where he is detained has microphones that listen into our conversations when we are talking with him. We also have issues of presenting possible defense strategy and mechanisms to Nnamdi Kanu while in detention, because their cameras captures virtually everything that goes on whenever we are visiting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And aside that too, whenever we present or come with documents to show Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in preparation for his defense, the DSS force us to surrender those documents to them. They take it into one of their offices. Possibly they make photocopies of them and all sorts of things. So it became difficult actually for us to prepare Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for trial. We have brought these issues before the court. The court has refused to appreciate the facts with us. So we decided to file an appeal against the findings of the court with respect to that issue. The matter at the Court of Appeal has not been heard yet, but we have filed all the processes that requires us to be filed. The prosecution has also filed their own processes too. We also have filed an application challenging the revocation of his bail in line with the judgment of the Supreme Court that said that Nnamdi Kanu's bail ought not to be revoked in the first place. So all these processes and issues are before the court. We have also filed another appeal challenging the charges before the Court of Appeal. So we felt that what the trial court needed to do was to exercise some patience and wait for the Court of Appeal to decide on this matter. But in court this morning, all efforts to make His Lordship understand this failed. Apparently, she had made up her mind that we must go into trial no matter what. Even if we are challenging the jurisdiction of the court, we must go into trial. Even if we have not prepared our client, we must go into trial. So when it became difficult, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu had to, by himself, stand up to express his concern about his confidence or lack of confidence, to the judge, and he made it expressly clear that he cannot have confidence in the court like this, where his fundamental right to fair hearing is not guaranteed. He also made it a point that His Lordship of the trial court is disobeying the order or judgment of the Supreme Court that said his bail ought not to have been revoked in the first place. So to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he felt if the trial court cannot obey the order or judgments of the superior court, such as the Supreme Court, then there was no need for him to stand trial before the court. So he told my lord to recuse herself from this matter. And my lord, well, after a lot of argument from the prosecution, my lord stood by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and recused herself. So the case file has been minuted back to the chief judge for reassignment of a further directive. So that is the situation for now.
Okay, thank you very much, Barrister. As we would also want to know, so far we learned that arrangements were made to making sure Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's health was hacking too. So how far have they gone in that effect?
Well, the doctor wrote a letter to the Director General of the DSS a couple of weeks back, requesting that Mazi Nnamdi can be brought to his facility for proper medical attention. Unfortunately, they sat on it until the former director was removed and the new Director General has come in. So with the coming in of the new Director General, they invited us yesterday to have a meeting with their doctors and investigators. And at the end of the day, it was agreed that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be taken to the doctor's place for proper medical evaluation. So hopefully by next week, Wednesday, Thursday, or thereabout, they should be able to take him to the doctors to look at his health, because health, above all this thing happening around, health matters. It's only somebody who is alive, that can actually stand trial. Yeah, so he needed his health to be in top notch so as to be able to stand trial. So the cumulative effect is that by next week, God willing, they are going to take him to the hospital for proper medical attention.
Okay, Barrister, as a representative of Nnamdi Kanu,
yes,
and by extension, the indigenous people of Biafra, what do you have to, to tell them in this very situation?
Well, what I have to tell them is that the battle is still on for the freedom of the people, for the freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The battle is still on. You see, this battle is not a one-faced battle. You are going to face this battle from all directions, both legally, politically, and in any other way. So legally speaking, the battle is still on. We just had a brief break now. By God's grace, once the chief judge comes back, as I understand he's not on seat, once he's back, he's going to look into the case file and possibly reassign it to another judge for trial. But if he doesn't do that, then he might as well take the case up by himself. He's a judge, and then listen to it, and try. So I am urging all Biafrans, all lovers of freedom, our clients, to please be focused, stand still. In the Bible, they say God said to the people of Israel, stand still and see how my Lord will walk. So let us stand still and see how God will work for us. So by the grace of God, the legal team is focused and determined to pull this through. So we believe that our clients too will be determined and strong and focused to assist us in getting the justice that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and indeed all of us deserve.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
In essence, the next adjourned date is Sinedai.
There is no date now.
Okay.
Until the chief judge assigns the case, then hearing notice will be served on all parties.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Barrister. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, and God bless you. Thank you.
All right. Can you hear me? How was the voice?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you. All right. So your phone name who here,
Yeah, Mazi, your voice is coming out.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. So that was the voice of the legal representative, who has been here battling this court alongside others. So, I believe every one of us has heard what happened from that angle. So let's keep our fingers crossed until this very notion reaches the table of the chief judge. Then we would know what next to do. Meanwhile, the watchword is still no retreat and no surrender. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Mazi. Thank you. Mazi, Lawman have done his job. And you heard what Nemeka said. Is there anything you want to chip on Nemeka's interview and things he pointed out, Mazi Kanu before we shut it down? It is quite important that people understand the position we are now. So I want you to go ahead and before we wrap it up. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mazi. What I want to say here is this. That will tell you how corrupt the Nigerian judiciary is. Because like I said before, that the judiciary goes to bed, is in bed with executive. Somebody like Senior Advocate Abuja It's as corrupt as Bintanyako. This is a man that's supposed to tell Bintanyako, no, this is not what the law says. This is the true interpretation of what is happening. But he is accepting everything the way it is because of how much millions is being paid in every appearance. At his age, you ask yourself, what is he doing with the money he is getting? This is how they are looting the judiciary. He is being paid millions, just like Bichi did, the former DG of DSS. Every court case, he said that he's spending 1 billion naira for security for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And somebody will write the check and give to him, to cash out. That is the same thing that somebody at that stage who claims to be a senior advocate of Nigeria is joining hands with all this nonsense that is going on. All of them are playing dirty. At his age, what is he going to do with the money he's stealing? What is he doing with the money he's stealing?
It's pathetic.
From the top. What? Nothing. That tells you how it is. And I want to say something about Bintanyako to recuse herself in this case. Let's go back. This is not the first time it's happening. During the time of John Tosho, it happened. Because of bias, he was asked to leave the case.
Yeah.
So nobody should panic on what is going to happen. The file is going to go back to the end, and he has to reassign it to someone else. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, but if the DGN is following the due process, he shouldn't assign the case to anybody because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has no case. And even the Supreme Court have ruled that no court should ever try Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So if they assign it, that means they're still playing political correctness because all of them are involved in it. That's my
this is up to them to decide what they want to do. The ball is now in their own court. They have to decide what they have to do. But as long as we are concerned, everybody knows that Bintanyako is biased. And they know, and the executive, they are all riding at her back.
Yes.
And the time for the Igbos, for the Southeastern people to wake up and say enough is enough. This is a persecution on the whole Igbos. They have to understand this. It's not today that it's only Nnamdi Kanu. It has happened to MFLA. He is there sitting. He is the only person in Buhari's regime that is in detention today. Look at this one that made mess of everybody. The Attorney General of the Federation. Is he in jail? No. Check out the whole Fulanis that looted billions of dollars. All of them are working free. But MFL is there and every other person is laughing. It's shame on Ndigbo. It's shame on all of them because they fail to speak. It's Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's turn today. It's MFL's turn. Tomorrow it might be theirs.
No, but remember, it's Mazi Nnamdi Kanu defending them. So when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was held, they ganged up to help Mazi Nnamdi Kanu today. Who is speaking for? Nobody can speak to them. Nobody listen to them. It was Onyendu speaking for all of them. He was the one fighting for every single person. Everybody, including Oju Zokalo, Onyendu don't care what he does. But when it comes to the zoo, Onyendu will tell you no. Because the people that rooted the treasury in Nigeria is the Fulani. And none of them till tomorrow morning. From Omar Nuko. Remember Omar Nuko days till today. None of them has ever been brought to book. So a persecution and the same thing. That is why we want Biafra. That's why we want to decide where we want to be. We are not begging them. But thank God that God gave us someone like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu because none of us could have budged if not somebody like Mazi. This is not a wishful thinking. It's not a wishful thinking, Mazi. And like I said, I'm not saying it for nobody. Only you say we don't need empathy. Not Mazi Nnamdi Kanu don't need empathy. We know that. And what I'm saying in essence is that people need to man up and face the reality because it's not talking. It's what you can bring to the table. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu haven't tried and tested because he's standing on his ground. And Mazi, and like I said, the so-called DG, if he assign it to somebody else, automatically we know that all of them are in together. The Tinubu Jagaban himself, remember the days of Abiola, he ran away from Nigeria. He knows what he's doing. He never believed in Nigeria. We have all this evidence, and people are still playing political correctness. So, for me personally, my own view today is that we are winning the case, and the world is knowing because they're buying time, but that time is going to cut up with them because there's no way, there's no place, they don't have plan B. It's the same practice they have been using, and it's worn out. If you ask me, there's nothing else to offer. What are they going to do? They try to break Mazi Nnamdi, they're not breaking him. So what are they going to do? They can't kill Mazi Nnamdi, they know the implication of that. Because they couldn't kill him in Kenya. What are they going to do now? It's very, very important people understand the position where we are. That this is not a child's play. You know, his two parents died and people are taking this as a joke. You see people come on social media talking nonsense. Mazi Nnamdi kind of family this, Mazi Nnamdi kind of family that. Anyway, Mazi, it is important that Biafrans understand. And today again, we are won again today. Because for Binta Nyako to withdraw herself from this case means that we have won again. To me, it's a winning. We won again. They have got they don't have, there's no plan B, Maz. They don't have any plan B. The DG can go to hell of all I care. When he come back, we want to see where he want to go from there.
Absolutely. What it is a very simple message. You know, I know that somebody like Awomole will be panicking now. It's just like cutting off his life supporting machine because he is looting the treasury, justice treasury. And now Binta Nyako has stepped aside. For him, the same thing counts. Because as an old man who claimed to have been in this profession, he ought to have known what to do. That the same woman whom he is older than in law refused to implement what the Supreme Court said and said, this is my court. If you are not comfortable, go to appeal court. And the people are accepting that, swallowing that, you know, that shows you that something is wrong in that very country.
Yeah.
Something is absolutely wrong in that country. And as long as I'm concerned, we are not going to stop. Any person that is coming, let the person come back. Let them take over the case. They have to revisit that same point, that same argument Binta Nyako is running away from.
They don't have any ground, Mazi was kidnapped, and that's it. It was kidnapped. There's no case. All they have to give us is what we have asked. And at the end of the day, that thing we ask is what they're going to give us, whether they like it or not. That's not where they're going to go. There's no case against Mazi Nnamdi or Biafran. Mazi Nnamdi was kidnapped in Kenya, extraordinary rendition. That alone is a crime. And that stopped there. So whoever you are signing the case to, you need to tell me what, first of all, how did Mazi Nnamdi, any open court will tell you, how did you brought him back home? Is a crime. And the Supreme Court have already affirmed that. So any other thing, to me personally, any other thing they are doing, their court, which is Supreme Court, have said, the highest court of the land, say no court have any right to try Mazi Nnamdi. So who are these signing it?
You see, not only that, the worst of it all is, every day they come to court, since 2015, Nigeria continue to amend their charges. Every 2 days they amend their charges. Every 3 days they amend their charges. What for? To an extent, they have been shouting treasonable felony is there. For this criminal, Womolo to go and remove London, where the broadcast took place. He removed all this London, no more London, because they know that they don't have jurisdiction when it involves broadcast made in London. And such criminal went and accepted that. They went and amended it. They are coming back to court to try Mazi Nnamdi. May Elohim punish all of them from A to Z. These are a bunch of idiots. They are all bastards. A madman in the street is more better than average barrister in Nigeria. It's unfortunate. There are people who are there that are supposed to get up and tell them enough of this mess. You are making mockery of judiciary, and nobody does that. Yeah. Because when it comes to conviction of an Igbo man, you see all of them will stand up. But in this one, in the case of Nnamdi Kanu, will sink Nigeria and sink anybody that wants to convict Nnamdi Kanu through corruption.
Yeah. It's happening already, Mazi. Everybody's bearing the burden. The only thing is that, you know, the part that is bearing the burden that, you know, like I said earlier on, but it's good that what is happening today is happening. The vacuum of our lead is very, very important. People acknowledge it. Because if Onyendu was not, if there wasn't a systematic media blockade, there wouldn't be a voice that can come and try to manipulate our people. Because when our leader, even since we started talking, you can see the changes. Now people know. that Onyendu can speak, because they tell us that Onyendu was cloned. Remember, Mazi, all these are propaganda. The same Mazi Nnamdi was cloned. All these things is what they told people to just make people mind. Onyendu is not incapacitated. Remember all this word. This is the things they concocted. And people that are doing this are people benefiting, directly or indirectly. Everybody within the one claiming they're fighting for Biafra, all they are looking for is a personal gain. They say things contradictively. That Mazi Nnamdi was cloned. That Mazi Nnamdi has been incapacitated. All these things is just to make people's mind to twist our people. And they keep on working on our people's brain. You know, they bring obedience and all that. Because all the marginalization and all the persecution on Igbo, it is, if you look at it again, Mazi, it is our people are the willing tools. Because Mazi Nnamdi is not from Kenya. Yeah? Then Igbo people supporting P2B to go and vote. I have not talked about this before. You supporting to go and vote when they have ample of opportunity for you to guys to actually show the world your anger. How do we start? Well, how do we implement sit at home? Nobody should have people say, "Oh, we want to disfranchise our people." And what happened at the end? At the end of P2B told them that is not hurry to be a president of Nigeria because it was systematic to divert attention of the people.
They are, I would say that Igbos are their own enemies. They had the opportunity. They had the opportunity to present or to rule Nigeria in 2017-18 when we went to Enugu to discuss way forward. They offered the Igbo presidency. They started fighting among themselves.
I understand it, yeah.
So, Mazi Nnamdi wasn't interested to run for any office in Nigeria. He said, people, it's up to people. What did they do? They started antagonizing themselves. That tell you how hopeless they are. These are just like two dogs. You get food to eat in one plate, they are fighting. Before you know it, they threw the food away. That is how all of them are. None of them can reason. No. None of them can reason like a human being. And that is why they're boxing them left, right, and center.
I agree with you. I agree with you. The British study our people's psyche, and they use it all the time against us. Peter Obi came here, and that Bro Johnson was still here, and I laugh. I told people, this man, you don't know. People don't know. If you know who this man is, you wouldn't even talk about Peter Obi. And today, what is happening? But it's good. 2017 presidency was another thing, but Mazi, the greatest opportunity again we had to show the world, to demonstrate to the world that we are thirsty of becoming self-people to decide who we are, like we're asking for independence. Just like Catalonian is doing today, was this past the election. Because it was systematic. I have not talked about it because P2B was picked for distraction because they knew that if they couldn't pick somebody that was sentimental, will get to Igbo people, then they know that will divert their attention to Mazi Nnamdi. So what do? They brought somebody that looks like you and make sure they distract all of you. And at the end of the day, where we are today, he came out and told them that he, just like, that's why Onyendu can say that I'm tired. But P2B told the people that voted him in that he's not hungry to be a president.
Then why did he come out? If he's not hungry to be president, why did he come out then? If you think you want a change for the country, you are coming out because you want that change to happen. So you cannot come out and say that you are not hungry to be a president. Then why did you come out?
Mazi, he have done his job because that's why he decamped from PDP and went to Labour, because they were looking for a new phase. His bosses are there. He's licking their bum. God knows this. I have not talked about this before, but I'm saying it today. Because Onyendu being in prison was ample of opportunity for you to say no to everything about Nigeria. And the way they brought our leader back, our people didn't do nothing. But Mazi Nnamdi can still stand on his ground. Just like he said, he didn't need anybody's empathy. Because, there's people that talk the talk and walk the walk. It's not talking. It's not wishful thinking. It's when a man is faced with God, defines who you are. When he faced with a situation that is imaginable. What happened to Mazi Nnamdi in Kenya that brought him back to the zoo? That man is still standing. Are you telling me that man is a human being? What are you talking about here, man? So, like I said, our people are the impediment of their own self. Can talk Igbo from here to, and that's why when I'm talking something, I don't like to mention, because I picked up from one thing from our leader. We have the cost on us. And when it comes to IPOB, we try to not put everything Igbo because it doesn't work. It doesn't. With all due respect, it doesn't work. We have a problem. We are the embodiment of our own self. Regardless what anybody tell me, I'm not having it. Because I said, how did Obasanjo become president? It's not because of Abiola. All of us run on Abiola. So what is the reward for you that Mazzi can give up himself? Nothing. All of them went back and supporting P2B. P2B was a puppet, complete one. Very cold, stone cold. The man is the stone cold. No? And at the end of the day, what happened? He came out and told you that his mandate, you guys fought for, everybody was jumping up like an antelope, supporting P2B, obedient. Where are they today? They fizzle away because they were contractors. All of them, motivational speaker cannot give you freedom. Like Nnamdi Azikiwe. No. You have to take a stand. You have to be a radical activism before you can achieve anything in life. And there's a pain behind it. Because it cannot be a cowardice and fighting for something. It must have a purpose. And that's why we're standing on the side of Mazzi Nnamdi Kanu. Few of us that still understand the fundamental reason why we actually pick up this is what we are doing today. It's not a wishful thinking. So Mazzi, it is important that Biafrans understand our plight. We're not begging anybody, and Mazzi Nnamdi has no case to answer. They can play this game from now to Jerusalem. We are here. We're not going anywhere. At the end of the day, they must come back to our own logical conclusion. One thing is certain, that we are not violent, not like we cannot choose to be violent. All we are asking for is give us what is belongs to us in our unable right to decide who we are. Every country decide how they're going to be governed. That's just what we're asking for. Nothing else. Mazzi, give you a closing remark so that we can shut it down. And thank you.
Thank you very much, Mazi Umeh. I will say again that the chapter of Binta Nyako is closed.
Period.
We are looking on the CJN to decide the next way forward. But one thing is certain. We will not, for any reason, abandon what we're looking for, abandon the quest to restore Biafra. It might take long, like they are saying, but Biafra must surely come. And these are the processes we are passing through. This is the processes we are passing through today. But one thing is certain, Biafra must surely come. It doesn't matter what Nigeria is playing. Thank you, Mazi Umeh, and thank you, fellow Biafrans, for tuning in today's edition of our broadcast. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mazi. Thank you for coming. Good man. Yes, fellow comrades and lovers of freedom, we're going to draw the curtain here, and I thank all of you that have listened and those that are going to listen to this broadcast. This is Biafra Radio, and I still remember your humble servant, Mazi George Izuchukwume, IPOB gatekeeper. I'm not apologetic about it. And today, again, we have won, like I said, but it's a time of reflection. That's all I can tell you. Ask yourself fundamental question: why are you here? Your leader, who you call your leader. Some of you still come as not your leader. Do you know how your leader welfare is? Do you know how he's faring? Because those that he said it when he came out for 2015, that was sworn an oath together, that we're doing what they're supposed to do. All of them today have gone into the wind. My advice to all of you is to go back to sober reflection. That's the word I'm going to leave you with. And may Chukwuka continue to bless and guide our leader, give him that strength and fortitude for him to persevere as this mantle leadership given to him that he has actually accepted with all his heart and doing it without any empathy, expecting any empathy from any man or woman. But he knows the purpose that he has embarked upon this, a journey of no return, because we are not going to go back, not at this time. But we will watch methodologically and look at those that we are oppressing us and how we're going to go about it. It was not a GK jog. You have to be systematic. Very, very important. So, and I thank all of you for listening. And for me from here, it's good afternoon. Ndewo no Chineke.